Hello, my little sausage links. This is Carla, and I am here again in my kitchen today with another fabulous pasta. Today I'm making fusilli with broccoli and sausage. That is correct. Coming at you again with more cruciferous content. And if you know anything about me, you know that my chosen family is the brassica bunch. That's right, the kales, the cauliflower, the cabbages, the radishes. They are all part of this one big, beautiful family. And in the original version of this dish, you would be using broccoli rabe. I have chosen to use regular old broccoli. I'm also using fusilli instead of orecchiette. And lemon, even though not typical, I think adds a little molto delicioso. I love to add ricotta at the end. It adds this last little layer of creamy lusciousness. So come along, let's go brown some links. Not only am I gonna chop broccoli, I'm gonna make you eat the stalks. You want to find broccoli with the stalks on for this purpose. They are edible, they are delicious. They get really soft and really sweet. Broccoli, like the other members of the cruciferous family, and let's talk about that for a second. Cruciferous and brassica, basically the same. One of the things about them, that mustardy part, is that they can have a sharp taste or a little bit of a bitter taste. Broccoli rabe is an example of that. That said, when the kind of hot, sharp, bitter flavors are cooked, they transform into things that are really sweet and delicious. I just want to take off enough of the stalk to get down to this light green underbelly. That's just going to be nice and tender and soft and sweet and not stringy or weird. As for chopping the broccoli, you can really do what you want. The way I'm gonna do it is cut in half through the stalk. Positioning these on their flat side, just go up the stalk about 1/4 of an inch is what I measured when I was developing this. Just until I kind of get right underneath the base of like the floret, like what you would find in the little bird's eye frozen bag of florets, like right up to that level. And then just putting these into like 1.5 inch pieces. Many of you, when I use this bowl in particular, ask me about my bowls. You can find rad stuff like this on Etsy. The other little bit of knife work that I'm gonna do is just smashing the garlic. I like smashing, I like the craggy bits. Also, if you have someone in your family who does not enjoy biting into garlic at all, smashing the garlic, leaving it whole, and then after you brown off the garlic, you can take it out with a slotted spoon and then carry on. So the flavor of the garlic will be in the oil, but no one, Cosmo, will bite into a piece of garlic and get really upset. The next thing I'm gonna do is season the fresh ricotta. I love doing a fresh ricotta layer in lots of pasta dishes, in fresh tomato sauces, in ragu, putting that spoonful of ricotta on at the end and letting it kind of soften and melt into the sauce. It just changes everything and it's super, super delicious. I want 8 ounces for this dish, so I'm gonna take out 1/4 that I would probably just eat like ice cream later. I'm gonna use lemon juice at the end. So this same lemon, I'm just gonna take the zest off for seasoning the ricotta. So in addition to being like creamy and lactic and changing the texture of the dish, it'll also double down and boost that lemony flavor. A little drizzle of olive oil, salt and peps. It's really worth it to season the ricotta. It just makes it special. I also like doing this at the beginning so that the lemon flavor can get a little bit more lemony as it sits while you're doing your other stuff. My pasta water is already coming up. My pan is preheated and I'm gonna start with some olive oil, as I always do, an amount that will appear on screen. Even though the sausage itself has fat and is gonna start to render as soon as it hits the pan, you need to have fat in the pan to like help that happen. But you also need fat in the pan to become, you know, part of the fat that is the sauce, and we love fat in this house. And I'm going to smash it into the pan very firmly. So using the back of the spatula to press the sausage against the pan and break it into smaller pieces at the same time. Okay, so now that it's like in, I pushed it into smaller pieces. You want to do that quickly and then you want to stop messing with it because I want to max out the browning. And that whole process is going to take maybe 3 to 4 minutes. Using all of my same visual tricks that I always use to figure out if something is brown underneath. You can see a lot of really beautiful browning around the edges. It's still looking really pink and juicy on top. This is that key moment that you want to get to with the sausage. So this is yet another example of our famous technique, kill it on the first side. I want to preserve all of the beautiful drippings, which is now like a fantastic mixture of olive oil and pork fat. Using a slotted spoon to take the sausage out, preserving its beauty. I've already lowered the heat a beat to medium so that it's not too hot when the garlic goes in. If you live with other people, protect the sausage at all costs. This is when people are gonna come from wherever they are, and they're gonna be swiping brown bits. My pan is over medium now, and I'm going to toast the garlic. This is not a time to be like snoozing or distracted because we don't want burned garlic. Stirring it, smashing it, bashing it, breaking it up a bit. I'm also seasoning the garlic. The sauce is now coming together. It has lovely sausage flavor. It's gonna have lovely garlic and salt and pepper flavor. Because I'm using a sweet sausage, I'm also gonna add a pinch of red pepper flake. And then that was really like a minute. The pan was already so hot from the sausage. I'm gonna slide that off the heat. Pasta water, back at a boil. And I'm going to season copiously before the broccoli goes in. I am choosing to cook the broccoli in the salted pasta water that I will use again for the pasta. I can really control exactly the cook time. They're gonna get really beautifully seasoned in all that salted water. The amount that you cook your broccoli is really up to you. I will encourage you to go a little bit under. So I'm going to where it's like nice and tender. This cake tester is just passing through, but there's a little bit of resistance. And that's really the key here is cook it a little bit under, remembering that it's gonna cook with the sauce once we combine everything and cook for 2 or 3 more minutes. If you want your broccoli to totally fall apart in the sauce and be more like the sauce in the melted cauliflower pasta, that is 100% up to you and your choice. And you would just cook it a little bit longer, still a little bit of bite, and then it can go to garlic town. The pan's still off with this, and that's fine. It's like nice and hot, adding nice hot broccoli to it. So getting the broccoli done. It's gonna sit here in this little olive oil garlicky bath for a minute while we cook the pasta. It's bright green, it's delicious, it's perfectly tender. You could eat this just as a side dish. Honestly, delicious. Droppa the Pasta. We're gonna bring pasta water over. We're gonna bring the pasta, we're gonna combine everybody. They're gonna be simmering together. So that is all more cooking. So if you want a perfect al dente at the end, you have to go al dente in the beginning. So every brand of pasta is going to have somewhere on the package the number of minutes, and you'll just find it because there it is, 7 to 9. So I'm gonna set my timer for 5. Turned out to be 6 minutes, but this pasta is beautifully al dente. If you don't have a strainer like this, just reserve some pasta water, drain the pasta, and then go into the pot. So before adding any water, and put this over low heat. Now we've got the hot pasta. So everybody's really warm. So now adding like a couple ounces at a time. It's probably half a cup. You can see there's like a good amount of pasta water down there. This is the time that everybody commingles. The broccoli has been hanging out with the olive oil, the garlic, and the chili flake. They've been like partying down a little bit. So at this point, if it's looking like it, you can add a little extra drizzle of oil. Having that fat in the pan is going to help with the emulsification. This depends a little bit on how fatty your sausage was, but I'm adding so that the sauce isn't just like watery, but it has the fat holding it. It's going to make it creamy. And at this point, I'm gonna add about half a cup of grated Parm. And then Parm shows up and everybody has like already been at the party. They've been like things, somebody took over the playlist, and then Parm comes in and everybody goes, oh my God, Parm is here. Well, back in Puglia, they might not have invited Parm to this party. But here in Brooklyn, Parm is invited to the party and everybody is saucy and everybody is glossy. Parm's at the party, we forgot sausage is coming to the party. Sausage is like, I set up the party, you weirdos. Sausage is like, there would be no party if I hadn't already been here. I'm just adding the tiniest whisper of a little more pasta water. I want to make sure that I still see saucy at the bottom. And so now I'm adding that last squeeze of lemon. It just goes with everything. It just brightens, wakes everything up, and it's crazy delicious. As amazing as this is, exactly the way it is, I cannot wait to put ricotta on it. Let's go. It turns out, didn't know this till today, but the original orecchiette with broccoli rabe and sausage apparently comes from Puglia. That's the heel of the boot of Italy. Bari is in that area. I have people from Bari. It just feels so good. It feels right. I hope they're not mad, however, because I did not use broccoli rabe, and I'm also gonna put cheese on this. So to all of my ancestors, whoever were and whoever will be, sorry, Charlie. It's delicious. Mmm. You would think that the first person served the pasta is like the prized possession because it's the cream of the crop. It is not. Where you want to be in the pasta serving lineup is actually middle towards the end, because that's where you can scoop more juices. So the first person might want to go back at the end and scoop some juice. So just when you're like, oh no, you take the first one, you're actually serving yourself. Free tip. I'm so excited that this is happening to me right now with a little bit of ricotta and a tender piece of brock and a beautiful piece of sausage. This is like one big, beautiful, happy family. Mmm. Fusilli is my person. Brassica is my fam. Sausage is invited. It's just glorious. So this is one of my favorite ways to make pasta, to put like an entire bunch of broccoli in it. This whole thing is boosting antioxidants, anti-inflammatory, cancer prevention. So basically this is health food, and that's the kind of family that we are. We're a healthy, gorgeous Brassica family. Number one. Oh God, so good. Okay.